Hey guys, Super Retrograde here. So what I'm gonna try to do tonight is I bought a Gameboy Pocket IPS. Well, I don't know if it's an IPS or if it's just an LCD display off of AlliExpress, and it took forever to show up, but it finally showed up today. It came with this shell that was already modified for the new LCD screen, but the shell is kind of all scratched up and kind of, I don't know, discolored and smudged and stuff. So I'm gonna actually modify my original or my authentic Game Boy Color here. So I'm gonna start by just disassembling my Game Boy Color. Plus my Game Boy Pocket. Plus I want to ultimately have a red one, because when I was growing up, I didn't have a red one, but my buddy did. I actually never had a Game Boy Pocket growing up. I had the original DMG, and then after the DMG I went straight to the Game Boy Color. But my best friend had a red Game Boy Pocket, so I have a red Game Boy Pocket here, and it's in very good shape. So, and I've already put a glass lens on this Game Boy Pocket, so I'm not going to bother with the glass lens in this one unless it doesn't fit correctly or something. But I kind of compared the lenses and it looked like they were the same size. So I don't think that this mod actually changes the size of the screen. I think it's a one-for-one, pixel for pixel match. I haven't watched any videos about performing this mod at all, so I'm kind of gonna be winging it as I go. But I'm hoping that it's not too involved. It kind of looks like you just, disconnect a ribbon cable and connect a different ribbon cable, and there you go. I am gonna have to do a little cutting on the shell though. Okay, so there's my back part. And then these look like standard Phillips. So they did give me a Phillips screwdriver. No, that's a tri-wing. They did give me a Phillips screwdriver with the kit, so I'm just going to use that. And I think up here is where I disconnect the original screen and connect the new screen. So I'm just going to push on both of these tabs kind of evenly and gently, because you don't want to break them. And then at this point, this ribbon cable should come out. So I'm just going to take my screwdriver, get it underneath this ribbon cable, and pull up to pop it out. And I'm thinking that that ribbon cable probably goes to this guy. So I'm thinking this guy so it looks like this probably snaps to here, and then this ribbon cable probably goes in there. And then I'm not sure what this is, some sort of backing, and then that's a new LCD. And I have no clue about this wire. I wonder if you actually have to solder something. I don't see any points, so I really have no idea what this is. Unless it's just some garbage. Because I don't know if this kit changes colors or anything. That's the only thing I can think. If this switch is to have it change colors. But it's not even a switch. Not sure what the heck it is. It just looks like a piece of wire soldered to something with double stick tape on the other side. Maybe it's for grounding something. I'm gonna pause the video and do a little investigation work. Make sure that that's not something important. Okay guys, so I just watched some footage to make sure I know exactly what I'm doing. So apparently this is an IPS kit. And apparently though that piece of wire, or those two pieces of wire with the with the double-sided pad, they are for wiring power to this Game Boy Pocket, or to the LCD screen. One's for power and one's for like a touch sensor. And the touch sensor is supposed to be pretty cool, but I didn't watch the video long enough to find out exactly what the touch sensor does. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to finish disassembling, and then I'm going to start cutting down the screen area of the case. And my board looks pretty good. I'm going to take out all my buttons and stuff. This kit came with like new buttons and new membranes and stuff, but I'm going to stick with the factory ones. And then I also found, watching the video I just watched, that the lens that it comes with is slightly different than the original Game Boy one, but you can just stick with the original Game Boy one because it's not that much different at all. Like, I guess the new screen is slightly larger, but masking it isn't a big deal. So what I'm going to do to get this open is I'm just going to wedge a screwdriver under there a little bit to get this screen out. Okay, so I've got my original screen out. Now, in order to cut this down, well, and I already have some good sticky stuff there, so that's good. So what I'm going to do to cut this down is I'm going to take my flush cuts and I'm going to do the four corners of the housing around the screen. Because you're trying to get rid of most of this. And kind of the way you do this is just kind of working the plastic back and forth. The video I watched, if you have an X-Acto knife, it's good to an X-Acto knife, or I think they also call them craft knives. You can kind of score the plastic to make this easier to make it easier to get a clean cut. You just want to take your time with this. See, and I couldn't find my needle nose. A needle nose pliers would be really good for moving this back and forth until it breaks. So that's a good way to get it to cleanly come off. So I'm just going to use that method a few times here. You don't want to do too big of a piece or too small of a piece when you do this. There we go. This one's kind of tricky because it's connected to this battery light hole. I'm actually not sure what I'm supposed to do here. Just take your time. I'm just gonna cut this. So I guess this is the big reason why you would buy their pre-made shell or their pre-cut shell. But I don't really like the quality of the shell that it came with. Yeah, in the video I watched, he actually took a file to it after he was done. Just kind of really smooth out these parts I'm cutting out. I don't have a file, so I'm just going to do what I'm doing. I don't think it's going to be a huge deal. So let's see, how good did I do here? It's a little high over here. And I could do better down here. And I'm not going to use the adhesive it came with. because I think I've got enough sticky stuff from the screen I had in there to be okay. See, and I just don't know what the best way is to cut around this battery indicator hole. Because I want to kind of file it down, but I don't want to mutilate it too bad, because that might be noticeable. Okay, so let's see. If this wants to go like that, then this guy is going to go like this. So I'm going to have to cut that hole some more. I think this power indicator hole pretty much has to be filed down. Oh yeah, on the other one it's completely gone. So maybe that's what I'll do here. Oh, I guess the pieces can't exit that way because of the glass. So I think I'm getting pretty close. Let's try putting it in here again. Yep, that's good. Don't want it to stick though. Now I'm gonna try to clean up the screen a little bit before I put it in there. Or clean up the inside of the lens. Okay, so I took some distilled water and a rag, and I tried to clean the lens as best I could. Honestly, I couldn't really get it perfect though, so I'm kind of thinking I might just use one of these new lenses they sent me. So I'm going to try to pop this guy out. So let's see here. That's the outside. So I'm going to pop this part in. This might be better anyway because it's supposed to be sized exactly to the new IPS display. See, this is the part I always kind of struggle with. Like, how the heck am I supposed to get this tape out after you do that? I don't think you can. Okay, so I'm just going to peel the tape right now, or peel. Okay, there we go. Now let's put this on here. Without marking it up. Perfect. Just gonna go all around the different sides. Now, I'm gonna take this screen, pull the tape off it, and insert it just like that. Oh, but it's moving. I don't want it to move, so I'm gonna have to use this. Come on. I think this part's supposed to come out too. Yep. Okay. Now and no, this is not the correct way of doing this, but this is what I'm doing. Perfect. Okay, I think that's enough. So I got this sticky padding around. Now I'm gonna put this guy back on here. Lining everything up. Shit. We want to put, we want to line up against these two posts over here. That looks good. There, got it in. Then we take this guy, this is our ribbon cable, connect that up. I'm going to take a little piece of electrical tape, and I'm just going to hold this just like that. And then I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to the video to figure out where I need to solder. So I'm going to pause it here. Okay guys, so I went back to my video and figured out what kind of soldering I have to do. So I have to do a touch sensor and power. I also spent some more time going crazy over the screen and trying to get it perfect. It's still not perfect, but I think it's pretty good. I think it's definitely aligned properly. I was just trying to get it as clean as possible, which is not fun to try to do. Okay, so I think I've got a pretty good screen on here. So now at this point, you put all the buttons back. So I'm going to go back to the originals, opposed to what they sent me. And I'm just going to put them all back in here with their membranes. Something's a little funny there. Oh, there's a little tab I need to line up. There we go. There's a hair. I also took out my soldering iron and turned it on, so it's heating up right now. Because I'm gonna have to do the touch sensor and the power for the screen. So I'm just I put all the membranes back. Now I'm going to take this PCB and I'm going to put it back. Just try to line it up. Okay. Is that right? I think that's right. Yeah, it must be. Okay. So then I am going to do the non-tri-wing screws. So I believe they're these three. I thought there was more than three. Guess I'll find out here. 1, 2, maybe there is only three. Yeah, so I want to do this one. You don't want to over tighten them because I don't think these are really used to really anchor it. Let's see, so there should be, those two are for there. So I think I do this one in the middle here. I think this is a pretty major one. Yeah, those two. And then I do this one over by these two capacitors. And you could recap the Game Boy Pocket when you do this. I haven't recapped this one. Maybe I should have. Then I'm going to take the ribbon cable. I'm just going to bend it over and try to slide it in here. Perfect. Then I'm going to push down each of these two tabs to lock the ribbon cable in place. Okay. All my buttons feel good. Screen looks pretty good. Now what I need to do is I need to take my soldering iron and where are this part? So they gave me two little wires and one touch sensor. Power and touch. Okay, so I'm just going to strip this little power cable. And then I'm going to strip the touch sensor. Perfect. Then I'm going to grab some of my soldering stuff here. So I'm going to grab a little solder. I'm not going to need a whole lot for this. And then I'm going to get some flux. I was going to use these cables, but I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it to waste those wires. Okay, so I got my little thing of flux here. So I am just going to put a little flux on these wires before I tin them. Okay, and then I'm going to put just a dab on there and a dab right there, and this is no clean flux. And then I'm going to take my iron, try to get everything else out of here. I'm going to take my iron and I'm just going to tin these. Do this in a well ventilated area. I've got a ceiling fan going right now. So there I just tinned each of those spots on the jumper cable, on the ribbon cable. Now I'm going to try to tin pin 1 on the power switch. Just real quick. I don't want to put too much there. Oop. Just going to put a little bit. Okay, I got a little dot on the power switch. Now I'm going to tin my wires. So to do that, I'm just going to take them and put them through a glob. Okay, I'm not sure what happened to this one. One side is exposed, the other side isn't. Maybe I took it off completely when I tried to, yeah. Jeez, I keep cutting it. There we go. Hopefully it's still long enough. Okay. So I'm going to start by trying to do the power. So to do the power, I am going to first connect I actually want to trim this down. I don't want it quite that long. Oh. I'm not sure what I got going on here. I am let me try the other side. Okay, I think that's good. Then I just gotta shape it to get it lined up with the pad there. Oh. Perfect. That looks very good to me. I don't know, you guys probably can't see it, but then I'm going to connect this guy to the touch sensor pad. Beautiful. So then this touch sensor, I think they just kind of put it up in this corner. So I'm going to take the double-sided tape off of here. Always the hard part. Jeez. It's really hard with such a little piece of tape. Oh, there we go. I think. Yep. Now I'm just going to take that and put it right down here. So I'm just going to put this down here, and I'm just going to take my screwdriver and just kind of push it against the shell so it sticks to the shell. So there we go. I have the touch spot connected to the touch part solder point on the ribbon cable, and then I have the power spot on the ribbon cable connected to the number 1 spot on the power switch. So let's finish putting it together and see if it works. Oh. So let's take this. Actually, maybe I won't even put it completely together. Maybe I'll just kind of hold it together and try it. So I have a couple batteries here. I just charged these. Oh, and I'm gonna need a game. Let me grab a game. Hey guys. So, so I went and got a game, and then I tried it, and when I tried it, my LCD had a bunch of like clouds down at the bottom here, and so I thought that I had a bad LCD. So that kind of sucked. So then I'm thinking, oh crap, do I order another one? What do I do? So what I ended up doing was the power cable, and I've got it all assembled now and I'm not taking it apart. But you know, there was the power cable that you went from the power ribbon cable pad to the switch 1 point on the motherboard, and I found that cable. So first I tried desoldering that power cable, and then I turned it on and I found the LCD didn't come on at all. So that's the only form of power that the LCD was getting. So then what I did was I soldered it back together, or back on, and I noticed that my artifacts down here were reduced. So then I got the brilliant idea of, well, what if I do shorter runs, or like just, you know, is it an interference thing? So I kind of cleaned up my cable to make it as short as possible, and they got reduced even more. Then I went into my soldering stuff, and I found some ribbon cable with a little more insulation on it, and I installed that, and then it was reduced even more. Then I had the thought, you know, let's just seal it up and see what happens. So now at this point, it's almost completely gone. So at the very bottom here, there's just the littlest bit, and I don't know if you can even pick it up on video. But right now, yeah, you can't even really pick it up. What's cool about this though, let me try to get it in focus, is you can still adjust the brightness. and you can adjust the volume. And up here I did my touch sensor, so I can change the colors on a Game Boy Pocket. So we can play Pokemon Yellow and Yellow. Yeah, so I kind of like doing this green. I mean, it comes out a lot differently on the camera, but this kind of looks like an original Game Boy. This very much looks like an original DMG. See, and now that stuff at the bottom's like completely gone. Yeah, it's not there at all. So I think I do have a good LCD. Yeah, so this just looks amazing now. Yeah, and I've got it lined up perfectly. Yeah, so this went from being a total bust to just being awesome. And you can't really tell on camera how good it looks, I don't think. But it looks really good. I must have already fought all these trainers. But yeah, this is super cool. It's a little Game Boy Pocket. Yeah, so if you do this install and you find that your screen looks screwed up, go and resolder and resolder that power cable, or the power wire between your ribbon cable and that power switch 1 pad. And if you can, use a little better insulated wire than what came in the kit, because that ended up doing the trick for me. So this is just like a super awesome Game Boy Pocket now. And I don't know how much the variable of the batteries comes into play. Like, I'm using rechargeable batteries that are completely recharged. And I don't know if like a fresh pair of batteries might show that down there versus a slightly used one or what. I don't know. And I don't know what this does to battery life, having this screen opposed to the stock screen. But I don't see any sort of screen tearing or anything. Like, it seems to be a pretty awesome mod. Yeah, and I'm sorry that I didn't get all that screen freaking out on the video, but I kind of got to a point where I just wanted to figure out whether or not this was going to work or not. This is definitely an awesome mod though. If you want to do this to your Game Boy Pocket, I think it's only like 60 bucks for this kit. And it is so cool. I can't believe how good it looks. And the Game Boy Pocket's cool because it's like, it's big enough to actually play on versus like a Game Boy Micro you wouldn't really want to play on. So this is Super Retro Kid. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.